All right, what is up, guys? We're here showcasing Monarch Vanguard Kaguya with 5 elements, including the unknown one. All right, starting off with 30,000 damage on placement with a 4 SPA and 28 range. Here's your attack effects on upgrade 1. And also, there's an active ability too. We can look on the screen right now. We have Fire, Ice, Sand. All right, Fire. This unit gains Fire element for the duration of the domain on start. Burn all enemies on this map for 35% of this unit's damage for 8 seconds. Fire element allies deal 30% more damage in this dimension. If the previous dimension was Ice dimension, slows all enemies on the map for 50% for 40 seconds. If the previous dimension was Sand dimension, increase the duration of the stuns by next dimension by 100%. And then Ice, it just basically, they all correlate with each other. You can pause the screen right now and read them if you want to. I'm not going to read all of them, but they correlate with each other. You can pair them up and buff certain units. That's why she has so many elements. And she has the Beast Bomb on a placement. As you can see, the 2 abilities right there. If we go back over here, she's placed right here. All right, so we have the elemental dimensions, which you just saw, and also the Beast Explosion. And she adapts to the elements on the team. Oh, that's what it is. So if you guys look back here, she has every element on the team. As you can see, all those elements right there correlate to these elements right here. So they all match up perfectly. Basically, she adapts, like they said, adapts to the units on the team and takes all the elements so it's more easily buffed. All right, and change dimensions. All right, we'll do the first upgrade right now. All right, upgrading right here. Going to upgrade 4. It's now a cone AoE, and the attack effects will be right here. As you can see, just that. It's 67,000 every 4.8 seconds, and upgrading again. Or that's just maxed out on that upgrade. I'll say next ability now. And then it goes over to this upgrade 10, 160,000 damage every 5 seconds. Very good. And lastly, the elemental bomb. And now maxed out 200,000 damage, 6.4 seconds SPA, and a 52 range. And here's the attack. It's a little bomb and whatnot. Let's see it again one more time. There it is. Very nice. And I guess we'll see what the Beast Explosion does too. Okay, here's Beast Explosion. Here's the animal. Oh my gosh, jeez. What the heck? So, I'm guessing that's just a nuke, in a sense. We do not know the damage. It's just going to be a big nuke, apparently, in range. And I don't know about the elemental dimensions, if it's going to change, like, what's going to happen. But we'll find out that in a sec, too. Alright, yeah, so here's the domain, Fire Domain. As you know, this will buff fire units, have like the fire passes and whatnot. And also, if you pair them up with other modes, if it's ice or sand and whatnot, it can either have stuns or slows or whatnot, of course, across like the whole entire map. So essentially, she's like a very good DPS, but also a very good support. I mean, 40,000 DPS, it's not a joke at all. It's very, very, very good. Alright, here's the ice one again. Puts the full map in ice, as you can see. And again, if you go back and pause the video and look at the passage, you can see what that does. It will correlate with the fire and sand to have certain buffs that you can, like, you know, format. And as you can see, damage is almost 500,000. Holy! No buffs. That's insane. I forgot that it buffs it when you're in the domain. All right, we'll do sand domain last. All right, here's sand again. 500,000 damage. That's insane. And then, obviously, you can go back and pause it on what sand does. It just switches elements, and also, if you pair them up again with fire, ice, etc., it has, you know, different things and whatnot that it will pair up, whether it's slow or stun or whatever. Very, very, very nice. Very cool unit, I cannot lie. I think last what we'll do is probably test out how much damage the nuke does. And again, after the domain, the base damage goes up too. We're now 53,000 DPS over here. Very, very nice. And I guess we'll see how much the Beast Explosion does next. Alright, guys. Beast Explosion on the boss right here. 89 million. It does roughly double double her damage, I think. I think it's around 1 million. I'm not too sure on that. 89 million to about 88 million. So roughly 1 million damage, I think. It did not really look like it did much at all, too. Yeah, I don't know if it did much. That was kind of interesting to see. And also, she moves. I forgot to look at the passives. Yeah, one more thing, guys. Passives, all right? You can pause right here on the screen right now. We have Master of Dimensions, God of Shinobi, and Elemental Affinity. Very, very nice pass right there. I'm not going to read them right now, but you guys can pause the screen and read them if you want to. Okay, never mind. We'll do the passives, I guess, before we end it off, because that's basically all we have for right now. So, Master of Dimensions, when this unit activates in a dimension, increase damage by 20% and range by 10%. This buff resets when the same domain repeats in cycle. So, you can go every single cycle, and basically, what was it again? Yeah, it will have a buff up to 60% until it's reset again. And then God of Shinobi, if an ally in range has a meter, this unit attacks, restores that meter by 2% per attack. Does not apply to swap gauge. On attack, teleports to the nearest applicable location of attack, which is like Katakuri. This is disabled when a dimension is active. When a dimension is active, attacks the first enemy, moves them to regardless of their spot on the map. We also tested the nuke one more time. Again, we don't know how much it does, to be honest. I can't really tell at all how much it does. Going back last to the Elemental Affinity, though. The unit is counted as each element currently on the team if when this unit swaps to the dimension and it matches an element already applied to this unit gains 50% damage for the duration of the domain. That's pretty interesting. Again, we don't know how much the nuke does. I think it's double, so probably like 700,000 or maybe triple, like 1.1 million. I'm not too sure, though. Again, it's kind of like interesting. Yeah, we don't really know how much it does. All right, yeah, so that's going to be off the showcase, guys. Not much more to see. She has 3 domains she can switch to, which all support each other. And she takes the elements from the team you're using. And also has a nuke, again, that I mentioned, which are, you have to look at on your own to see which will kind of, balance and do what, and whatnot. And she also teleports nearby 2 enemies, as you can see, with a DPS of 53,000 per second when she uses all of her domains without repeating them. So yeah, that's Kaguya for you. Again, passive, you can pause the screen and look at them. Very nice, very good DPS, pretty solid range. And she's technically a support too with her elementals that I mentioned. So very nice. That's all we have for the showcase, guys. If you like that, make sure to subscribe. Shout out Oxa for the showcase. Big shout out to them for that. And I'll put another video you can watch on the screen right now if you're interested in that. But yeah, I'll keep on grinding the update, guys, and hope you guys get Kaguya. And I hope I get Kaguya too. But that's all I have. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.